Okay, hi, Mr. Osborne here again. Thanks for coming back. I hope you enjoyed session one where we were looking at the circulatory system and the main focus was the heart in that. This session, we're going to have a main focus of looking at blood and the elements of blood. Okay, I've got some of Mrs. Osborne's cake decorating materials to hopefully highlight what goes into making up blood. Now, that's enough talk. Let's get sharing the screen. Okay, so here we go. Share, hopefully. Let's move me up in the corner. Fantastic. So this is session 2. Okay, what will you need today? Well, you simply need a pencil and a paper. If you want to have a go at making up the blood, I think maybe it might be good that you watch the session and then rewind back and maybe ask your parents' permission before you have a go at it. But it would be nice if you could have a go with it and then talk through what you've learned at the same time. So, pencil and paper. Let's get ready to warm our brains up. I'll give you maybe a couple of minutes if you can see if you can remember the 3 main elements, the 3 key words I'm looking here, the components of this circulatory system. Okay, maybe pause the video and join me in a couple of minutes. Okay, so you're back again. Let's have a look. Now, our little man there, you can see through his body. Hopefully you would identify that he's definitely got blood running through his body. We know that the blood goes through blood vessels, and we know that one of the key components, if not the key component, is the heart, which does the job of pushing that blood around the body. Okay, so hopefully your brains are in gear and you're nice and warmed up. Let's have a look at today's learning. So we're going to continue with our theme of to identify and name the main parts of the human circulatory system, with the main focus of learning about blood. Okay, so that's our main focus. You can see already we have a little diagram of the blood down here, blood, plasma, white blood cells, red blood cells, and platelets. We're going to be looking at that in more detail as we go on, and hopefully I can show you as well in a little kind of demonstration. So let's move on. So key vocabulary for today. So red blood cells. Okay, now I've got these little kind of little smarty kind of things to represent red blood cells. Red blood cells are used to transport oxygen around the body. Now, white blood cells, should have planned this a bit better. We're stuck in that. Oh, here we go. White blood cells today, I'm going to be using, can we see this? White chocolate bits, and they protect against disease. So we've got red blood cells transport oxygen. We've got white blood cells protect against disease. Platelets, which I'm going to use these platelets, chocolate flakes. Okay, platelets which help the blood to clot and repair itself. I'm sure if you've ever tripped over or you cut yourself, a scab is formed, and you would know, well, you will know from now on that's actually platelets that are clotting together to repair that cut. And then plasma, which is a liquid that carries these cells and transports important nutrients. And today I've got a little bit of diluted orange juice there. Okay, so that's the key vocabulary: red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, plasma, nutrients, oxygen there as well. Okay, so key elements of blood. So the key elements of blood, the blood's made up of 4 key elements. Plasma, okay, which I've already shown you, which is my orange juice. We've got platelets, which are my little chocolate, sort of chocolate shavings. We've got the red blood cells, which are these kind of red Smarties, and we've got the white chocolate drops there, which are going to represent the white blood cells. Okay, so plasma, let's have a look. Oh, I hope the diagram's not in the way there. So facts about plasma. Plasma is the largest part of your blood. It makes up more than half, about 55% of its content. Okay, and you can see from that little diagram, when separated from the rest of the blood, plasma is a light yellow liquid, hence the kind of the orangey color that I went for. Plasma carries water, salts, and enzymes. Okay, now what role does plasma play within blood? Well, the main role of plasma is to take the nutrients, hormones, and proteins to the parts of the body that need it. Cells also put their waste products into plasma. The plasma then helps remove this waste from the body. Blood plasma also carries all parts of blood through your circulatory system. Okay, so that is that yellow kind of liquid. So here's that yellow liquid. Okay, and that is our plasma. Now, there's more, 55% of our blood is made up of plasma. Okay, fantastic. So hopefully you remember some of those key facts there. Okay, and we shall move on to the red blood cells. Now, red blood cells have the important job, okay, of carrying oxygen. These cells, which float in your blood, begin their journey in the lungs, where they pick up oxygen from the air you breathe. They then travel to the heart, which pumps out the blood, delivering oxygen to all parts of your bodies. Okay, now let me just grab my red blood cells. Okay, now here we go. Okay, so just to recap on some of that important information, that the red blood cells have that important job of carrying oxygen. Okay, these cells which float, so one of these little red sort of smarties which float in your blood, begin their journey in the lungs. Okay, now we all know where our lungs are, where they pick up the oxygen from the air you breathe. Then they travel to the heart, which pumps out blood, delivering oxygen to all parts of your body. Now, here we go. Red blood cells are round with a flattish, indented center, a bit like donuts without a hole. Okay, so there you go. Now, what I'm going to do is these red blood cells, okay, these make up about 45% of our blood. Now, I can't really do that. Well, I've got way more plasma or slash orange than I have these, but let's pop these in. Okay, that's our red blood cells. They should really float. Okay, so now we have got our plasma, and we've got our red. Talking about it, and there's our red blood cells there. Right, so let's move on. So now we have the white blood cells. Now, your white blood cells only account for about 1% of your blood. Okay, so I'm not going to need as much as the red blood cells, but their impact is huge. Okay, and they protect against illness and disease. Okay, so white blood cells are hugely important to be in your blood. And basically, we can remember this by thinking of our white blood cells as our immunity cells. Okay, in a sense, they are always at war. They flow through your bloodstream. Okay, I'll keep looking down. Sorry, just look at these chocolate bits. They flow through your bloodstream to fight viruses, bacteria, and other foreign invaders that threaten your health. So when your body is feeling ill, down, or in distress, and a particular area is under attack, white blood cells rush to help and destroy harmful substance that prevent illnesses. Okay, so far I've got our 55% plasma. We've got our red blood cells, which make up about 45%, and seems to have dye coming off, a red dye coming off there already. Okay, and now I'm going to put in our sort of 1% white blood cells. Like I'm going to boop in, there you go. Okay, fantastic. Okay, it's really important to remember about those white blood cells. There are immunity cells. Okay, so they're the things that are going to keep us nice and healthy if we are not feeling too well. Okay, and then we're going to look at our platelets. Okay, now your blood contains many tiny cells called platelets. They help your blood to clot, which means that if you get a cut, some of your platelets stick together to plug that hole in the blood vessel wall caused by the cut. Eventually, the clot dries out and to form a scab. Now, I'm sure you have all at some point cut yourself and understand what a scab is. Now, I've got my platelets here, okay, and again, they only form about 1%, okay, of your blood, okay. Let's have a look. Oh, don't want to go on the quiz yet. I'm just going to put these in. Okay, so the sort of final ingredients, okay, is the platelets. They're going in. There they go. Okay, now they're sort of floating. Okay, so just to recap, we have our plasma, which makes up about 55% of our blood. We have our white blood cells and platelets, which is about 1% of our blood, but are extremely important. Okay, The white blood cells are there to protect us from harm, and the platelets there are to clot the blood if we had to cut ourselves. And then we have our red blood cells, which makes up about 45% of our blood. And as you can see there, Mr. Osborne has got a bit of a mess going on. Quite fancied those chocolates before, but not looking at that now. Okay, let's move on to a quick quiz then. Hopefully you were listening. Okay. If not, maybe you might need to pause the video, go back before you have a go at these questions. Okay, I'll read through the questions quickly. We'll pause the video and then you can come back. So first of all, what do the red blood cells do? Something protect our body against diseases by stopping germs. Number 3, what do platelets do? And then number 4, blood travels around the body in blank. Okay, so feel free to pause the video there. Come back in a couple of minutes after you've had a good go, and then we'll reflect on the answers together. Okay. Okay, so you're back already. It's so strange because I don't actually pause. Okay, so let's have a look. So what do the red blood cells do? Well, the red blood cells transport oxygen around the body. Something protects our body against diseases and stopping germs. Well, we all know what that is. That is the white blood cells protect our body against diseases and germs. If you remember rightly, I was using white chocolate drops there. What do blood platelets do? Well, blood platelets, oh, just going to move my video there. Platelets clot and repair cuts. And then finally, it's already come up in the animation. Thank you very much. Blood travels around the body in blood vessels, which are like little roads going all over our body. Okay, so a quick recap. We have continued our journey through the human circulatory system and with the main focus of blood today. Now, hopefully you should be able to recall, we looked at the 4 key elements that make up blood. That was plasma, red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. Okay, next session, we will be looking how blood moves around the body, and we will have a main focus of looking at blood vessels in our continuation of the circulatory system. Okay, thanks for tuning in. I've been Mr. Osborne. Hopefully see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.